The Days of Our Lives preview for March 17th to 21st brings intense confrontations, shocking revelations, and deep-rooted family conflicts. At the DeMera mansion, Johnny is furious with EJ over past decisions, particularly regarding Sammy. His harsh words leave EJ emotional, but his sadness quickly turns into anger. EJ shifts the blame onto Kate, believing she should have kept quiet. After tracking her down at a bar, he warns her that she will regret exposing the truth. However, despite his threats, EJ may be the one in real danger as a detective mystery unfolds. With enemies closing in, his future looks uncertain. Meanwhile, Julie, JJ, and Doug head to the bistro for a pleasant evening, but things take an unexpected turn when Julie notices Melinda wearing a family heirloom, her grandmother's necklace. This discovery leads to a tense confrontation as Julie demands answers. Could Doug have secretly taken the necklace to protect it? Over in Washington, Marlena and Steve meet with Shane, hoping for updates on John's whereabouts. While Shane can't share everything, the information he does reveal is enough to leave Marlena shaken. Whatever he knows could spell serious trouble for John. With family tensions boiling over, shocking secrets coming to light, and a growing sense of danger, Days of Our Lives fans won't want to miss a moment of the drama ahead. Johnny DeMera's fury erupts. It all begins at the DeMera mansion, where Johnny confronts his father, EJ. For years, tension has simmered between them, but this time, the conflict reaches a whole new level. Johnny is incensed upon learning that EJ pressured Sammy into having a child under less-than-ideal circumstances many years ago. Although Johnny has always wrestled with the complicated legacy of his parents, discovering that there was an element of coercion in his own conception leaves him reeling. The shock turns to bitterness, and that bitterness quickly flares into explosive anger. In the emotionally charged confrontation that follows, Johnny takes EJ to task for manipulating Sammy. He demands answers about what really happened all those years ago, and he accuses EJ of thinking only of himself without regard for the deep emotional wounds this behavior might inflict. For Johnny, the idea that his very existence came about through manipulation is overwhelming, and he cannot simply brush aside this painful new truth. His voice shakes as he presses EJ to confess every last detail, his mind racing with possibilities of just how far his father was willing to go. EJ's tears and blame. The strain on EJ becomes immediately apparent. He rarely allows his emotions to show, but this latest attack from Johnny cuts straight to his heart. EJ is often seen as the powerful DeMera patriarch who keeps his cards close to his chest, but the relentless guilt and shame about his past actions begin to surface in a rare display of vulnerability. Tears fill his eyes as Johnny calls him out for the manipulative choices he made regarding Sammy and for the ripple effects it has had on their entire family. For EJ, whose identity is deeply rooted in the formidable DeMera name, letting anyone see him cry is a humiliation, especially his own son. Yet, as Johnny levels his accusations, EJ cannot hide the reality that the past is now coming back to haunt him. After suffering under the weight of Johnny's fury, EJ rallies himself by shifting the blame onto someone else. He needs a target for his anger, and he finds one in Kate, the person he believes spilled the secret that should have remained hidden. Kate in the crosshairs. Kate, known for her sharp mind and willingness to play the game of corporate and personal intrigue, becomes the object of EJ's wrath when he realizes she may have shared sensitive information about Johnny's conception. Convinced that she has undone the DeMera family's private business, EJ hurries to find Kate. He tracks her down at a bar, confronting her in a public space to make sure she hears exactly how much he disapproves of her actions. Their tense exchange revolves around EJ insisting that Johnny never needed to know the truth at all. In EJ's mind, if Kate had simply stayed out of it, this entire fiasco could have been avoided. He accuses her of betraying him and vows that she will regret revealing the past. His tone is menacing, a stark departure from the vulnerable tears he shed earlier in the DeMera mansion. The name DeMera carries a certain weight in Salem, and EJ is never one to shy away from using that power to intimidate anyone who crosses him. A furious response once EJ delivers his ominous warning to Kate and storms out. Kate experiences her own surge of fury. She has been threatened many times over the years, but something about this confrontation shakes her to the core. In a fit of rage, she slams an object onto a nearby table, letting out a wave of pent-up frustration and anger. Anyone who has ever doubted Kate's resilience or her capacity to strike back should recall the numerous times she has turned the tables on her enemies. While EJ is sure he has the upper hand, Kate's reaction suggests she might not be one to fold under intimidation. EJ's growing list of enemies. Ironically, even though EJ warns Kate that she will regret her decisions, it seems EJ himself may soon be the one in over his head. Rumor has it that a dangerous turn of events is on the horizon, and it might position EJ as the prime target in what some are calling a detective story. The details remain murky, but speculation is running rampant that someone in Salem wants EJ out of the picture altogether. EJ may have been sure that his threats would keep people in line, but they could also inspire someone to orchestrate his downfall. Over the years, EJ has cultivated many rivalries and grudges, both inside and outside of his family. The DiMera name commands respect, but it also fosters jealousy and resentment. It is not hard to see how several scorned Salem citizens might band together to get rid of EJ for good, especially if they believe they are protecting themselves or their loved ones from a man they see as manipulative and dangerous. EJ has always walked a fine line between self-preservation and outright villainy, and this time he may have crossed a threshold he cannot easily re-enter. A storm of secrets and schemes in the typical fashion of life in Salem. Secrets stack upon secrets, and shifting alliances are the norm. Kate might not stand alone if she decides to retaliate against EJ. She has connections of her own, including several DiMeras who have a history of turning the tables on each other. Family loyalty often carries a different meaning in this town, especially among the DiMeras, who can switch from warring with one another to joining forces at a moment's notice if it serves their collective goals. Meanwhile, Johnny struggles with a sense of betrayal from both his parents, which could send him down a path that involves forming new alliances of his own. Will Johnny decide to join Kate in exposing EJ's secrets to the rest of Salem? Or will he conclude that he needs to handle this matter alone, possibly turning the tables on EJ in a more subtle yet devastating way? The possibilities are endless in this ever-twisting narrative where family feuds can erupt into all-out wars. Potential consequences should EJ become the victim of a cunning scheme or even a criminal plot. The fallout in Salem would be massive. Once a detective story unfolds, potentially involving EJ as the victim, everyone's secrets might come tumbling out. It is one thing to threaten someone like Kate, who has survived countless challenges, but it is quite another to face the combined forces of those who have had enough of DiMera strong-arm tactics. If Johnny, Kate, and others end up on the same side, EJ could find himself isolated and without his usual network of support. Moreover, Salem's law enforcement has never been one to ignore high-profile disputes, especially within the DiMera family. If EJ is harmed or goes missing, the ensuing investigation will be far-reaching. It could dredge up any number of hidden agendas and hushed whispers, shining a light on the underbelly of DiMera politics and stirring up resentments among other Salem families who have clashed with the DiMeras in the past. What lies ahead? All eyes are on EJ's next move. Will he succeed in keeping control of his empire, or will his decision to confront Kate so aggressively prove to be his undoing? And what about Johnny, whose heartbreak and anger have escalated with each new revelation about his parents? His resentment might forge a powerful alliance that could catch EJ off guard. Viewers know that in Salem, a seemingly minor incident can snowball into a life-threatening situation in the blink of an eye. EJ's attempt to silence the truth about Johnny's conception could be the final straw that pushes his enemies into action. In a town where loyalties can shift overnight and vengeance